Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke. And today is Ahn Shi Il, and I'll be presenting on this Sunday, the 28th of September 2025, or the 7th of August in the 13th year of Chong Il Guk. Let's begin by offering a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, Chanji Chapuninge, Chombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English.
가전맨세 6. 천일국 주인, 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 손을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 6. Our family, the owner of Chong Il Guk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the heavenly parent and true parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. Thank you, and I'd just like to offer this opening prayer that Mother gave at the dedication of the growth stage Chombukgun back in 21st of February 2010. We are sincerely grateful that you have permitted us to dedicate this holy temple in Yongsan Borough, Seoul, where we may attend you in a precious and exalted manner for the first time. We thank you that you have made this dedication ceremony so that this holy temple can shine brightly throughout the world as a place where our Jongsong and the hearts of all members can be gathered to form a foundation on which the entire country and the entire world, all humanity, will be able to recognize that the true owner is working his will substantially. May all who come and go here feel the boundless yearning and love of our Heavenly Parent in heaven. Every time they look up, they look upon this temple of unificationism. May your special blessing be upon all children who work here. May all the world see that you live and that you are carrying out your work directly. Thank you. Thank you that you have given us this day. Heaven has endured so much as it walked a difficult path, being badgered and driven, working in the dark without recognition. Now a holy temple has been opened where we can boldly reveal you and attend you. Please give your blessing so that your blessing and grace may be revealed to the world. Thank you all that this has taken place today in this ceremony. We now offer this luncheon on this day of Jongsong and ask that you partake of it first. We thank you and report to you in the name of the true parents, Arji. Thank you. And just want to share my message this morning. There you go. So it's titled True Mother's Promise, Completion of Heaven's Providence. And I hope you get inspired. So I'm going to begin with a video that maybe you've seen before, but it's good to see again. It's about the Chongwon-gun, the completion of heaven's providence, consummation of human history, and it just gives a good overview of the temple. So I'll just play that.
Just as small streams converge to form a great river that flows to the ocean, all religions are streams or rivers flowing toward the ocean of the Heavenly Parent. A central location where humankind's many cultures intermingle and merge. the symbol of interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values that brings the world into harmony and oneness. The sanctum wherein all people encounter heaven and receive blessing. This is Cheonwon-gung. The early 1970s. Here in this place called Cheongpyeong, where the North Han River flows calmly, surrounded by the Jangnak Hills. True parents hope to establish a model community of true love for the one family of humankind, where people of all races live together in harmony and in the joy of caring for each other.
이 청평 땅을 될 수만 있으면 그러한 세계 적국의 고향 땅, 만 인류의 신정적 고향 땅, 거룩된 땅으로 기도해오던 그 모든 사실이 이제 본격적으로 출발할 수 있는 이 시점에 이르렀던 걸 생각할 때 감회가 무량합니다.
In order to set this in motion, in 2013, True Mother gave the area of Songsan Village in Sorok Township of Gyeonggi Province the name Hyeojung Cheonwon and announced the creation of a global landmark there that would embody the ideals of global citizens seeking for peace. A place where a heavenly garden, a model of God's kingdom, will be established on earth, where the headquarters of Heaven's Providence will stand tall, an everlasting gallery depicting True Parents' life courses and achievements. A project where the dream of the cultures of the world, of a global community of peace, and of one human family centered on hearts of filial devotion to heaven will be realized. The H.J. Cheonwon Project. And here at the center stands Cheonwon-gung. On April 4, 2014, True Mother designated the broad hillside of Cheonsong Mountain as the location for the construction of Cheonwon-gung. After selecting the location, the Cheonwon-gung Construction Steering Committee was formed. And just 3 years after formulating the construction plans, all the necessary permits were approved. A groundbreaking ceremony was conducted in September 2017. The beam placing ceremony completing the framework of Cheonwon-gung's Cheon Il Sanctum was held on April 27, 2021 as part of the celebrations for the 61st anniversary of True Parents' Holy Wedding. The American PDI Design Group, with its leading architects designing cutting-edge architecture around the world, including Cheon Jung-gung, drew up the plans for Cheonwon-gung. The preliminary design proposal showed a range of architectural concepts, but the final design is neoclassical stone architecture based on Renaissance style, reminiscent of the design of Cheon Jung-gung. Many improvements were made to parts of the original design work, such as the shape of the domes and exterior design work, based on True Mother's detailed interest and insight. The space was also expanded as the concept of the central space of Cheonwon-gung was changed from True Parents Memorial Hall to Cheon Il Sanctum, the central sanctum of Heavenly Parents' holy community. Through these developments, large and small, the form and structure of Cheonwon-gung emerged. The construction of the 4 floors below ground and 3 floors above ground was completed in March 2022, and the masonry work began in April of the same year. Internal filaments and external landscaping are picking up pace, and the interior fitting will be completed by the end of the first quarter of 2023, when test operations will begin. The dedication of the sacred Cheonwon-gung Cheon Il Sanctum is planned for May 5, 2023, to commemorate the 80th birthday of True Mother, the true parent and only begotten daughter, and the 63rd anniversary of True Parents' Holy Wedding. Cheonwon-gung is connected to Cheon Jung-gung, the Holy of Holies of the Heavenly Parents' Holy Community, and with Cheon Seungjeon, a memorial to Heaven's victory in Vision 2020. It will be a sacred holy site that includes the Cheon Il Sanctum, where we can meet our Heavenly Parent and will play a central role in Heaven's providence for world peace. With its 30-meter-high memorial spire, Cheonwon-gung's entrance tower stands tall. After passing an oval arcade encircled by cloisters and a lawn plaza, you reach the main building, which is topped by 5 large domes. To the left of the main building are the sculpture park and azalea garden. An art gallery will be situated to the right. The distance from the entrance tower to the main building is 236 meters. From the ground level to the top of the central dome of the main building is 68 meters, and the width of the main building is 108 meters. It will be a world-class building that will exemplify Korea's stone-clad architecture. Entering the Chunwon-gung main building, there is a central lobby, where you can see the interior of the dome adorned with 12 decorated segments and 12 side windows of stained glass. At both ends of the lobby, on both the left and the right, are marble spire staircases, the pinnacle of high-end classical architecture, which enhance the elegance of the interior. Holy water fonts are located on both sides of the stairs, where you can wash your hands, cleansing your mind and body before entering the very heart of Chunwon-gung, the Chun Il Sanctum. After climbing 9 steps from the central lobby and passing through 3 bronze relief doors, you will come to the substantial, original sanctum of Heavenly Parents' Holy Community and Family Federation, the Chun Il Sanctum. The Chun Il Sanctum is 30 meters from floor to ceiling. The ceiling is a hemispherical dome decorated with stained glass, which portrays the transcendent being of heaven and the Heavenly Parent through an array of colors. The marble floor. The heavenly rays of light falling upon the land is received by the 8 types of flowers and brings all of nature to flourish and grow in every direction. When you position yourself in the center of the Chun Il Sanctum, you stand in a place where Heavenly Parent's glory manifests as a radiant light projected onto the earth. And you come to feel that humankind, Heavenly Parent's children, are the central beings of the universe that bridge heaven and earth. At the front of the Chun Il Sanctum is a large stone carving expressing Heavenly Parent's blessing and the ideal world of peace. The interior walls on either side of the sanctum are in the form of colonnades. 14 world-class works of art filled with the artistic soul of 2 master artisans, recognized as Korea's intangible cultural treasures, will decorate the sanctum. Looking thousands of years in the future, True Mother designated these mother-of-pearl lacquer artworks created by this unique technique as HJ Sacred Artwork. The lives of the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, who have devoted their lives for peace, will shine all the brighter and be conveyed to the ensuing generations as the precious cultural legacy of humankind. On the colonnade balcony in the Chun Il Sanctum, the names of the blessed families registered as Chunbo will be displayed. It will become a Chunil-guk Hall of Honor, where each name will be proudly inscribed. The exhibition hall of the life and work of Reverend Dr. Sun Myung-moon and Dr. Hakja Han-moon is located on the 1st and 2nd floors surrounding the Chun Il Sanctum. The exhibition hall is designated with the motif of light and dreams, depicting in dramatic form the achievements of true parents who have worked to realize the dream of Heavenly Parent and of all people. The first themed hall, Heavenly Parent's Lost Dream, depicts human history from the creation of the Garden of Eden, the human fall, to Jesus Christ who promised to return. It covers the history of humankind that lost the light and lost God's word. In the second themed hall, Finding the Dream Again, the historic moment of true parents' advent through the marriage supper of the Lamb, which took place at the former headquarters in Cheongpa-dong, will be reproduced through special media. In the third themed hall, A Dream Dreamed Together, the collapse of the walls of darkness, we experience domestic and global missionary activities, the victory over communism movement, and the end of the Cold War. The history and life of blessed families is also depicted. The fourth themed hall, Dreams Will Be Realized, will testify to Reverend and Mrs. Moon's victory through their unsparing love as the King and Queen of Peace and the true parents of humankind, and will show the process and vision of realizing the settlement of Cheonil-gu. In the final themed hall, One Human Family Under Heavenly Parent, the rebirth of all humankind as Heavenly Parent's children through true parents will be displayed. In the exhibition hall, the themes are shown in 3 dimensions in motion through cutting-edge technology. There is an exhibition where not only Cheonil-gu citizens, but other people will be able to come and realistically experience true parents' life and achievements. Going up one floor on the Cheonil Sanctum spiral staircase, you reach the central offices, which play a central role in Cheonil-gu. The central offices feature guest reception rooms and conference halls, as well as meeting rooms and administrative offices, where the groundwork for Cheonil-gu and the realization of a heavenly unified world, which Heavenly Parents' holy community is working towards, is to be laid. On the first floor of Cheonwon-gung's main building is a multi-purpose hall, which features the Black Box Theater, where international meetings and exhibitions for up to 1,000 people can be held. A lounge and restaurant are also being prepared. In front of the main building is an oval plaza with a lawn, where events and performances can be held. Natural light will shine brightly into the center of the large basement arcade, below the grassy plaza, through a circular skylight. The entrance tower, which rises from the first floor basement under the plaza, will have an observatory and cafeteria overlooking HJ Cheonwon. The monument at the top of the entrance tower in the day represents the status and triumph of Cheonwon-gung. At night, the upper spire is lit up like a torch as a milestone on the path to a world of peace that gathers the devoted effort of all people. There will also be space in Cheonwon-gung for culture and the arts. The outdoor sculpture park and exhibition of modern art will display works of top contemporary artists from around the world, and the exhibition of Korean art will display Korean paintings and pottery, the essence of Korean art, which are on par with national treasures. These features will satisfy the artistic and cultural tastes of all who visit.
이 건물은 하늘 섭리의 완성이야. 인류 역사의 완성이야. 그래서 실질적으로 지상에 계시는 참 부모가 인류를 상대로, 모든 나라들을 상대로 치리하는 곳.
In May 2023, with the arrival of a new spring in heaven's providence, when the daffodils are in full bloom in the HJ Cheonwon Garden, Cheonwon-gung Cheonil Sanctum will be dedicated to heaven together with all of humankind in attendance. It will be a day of great significance, a day for which heaven has waited for 6,000 years, a day when Heavenly Parents' dream will be realized. Cheonwon-gung will become the original holy ground of a heavenly humankind, heavenly tribes, heavenly nations, and a heavenly cosmos transcending races, cultures, religions, and nationalities. We will become one with our Heavenly Parent in this great hall of Cheonil-gu, Cheonwon-gung's Cheonil Sanctum.
That brings back many memories for all of us, I'm sure, because we know that it has been dedicated and opened, and many of us were able to go and experience, the Cheonwon-gung and the Cheonil Sanctum, and really recognize that this is, as it says, the original, holy temple, the original holy ground. So I'd like to now share a message that Mother gave at the World Summit 2020 General Assembly. This was on the 4th of February 2020, and it just highlights a Mother's vision to the representatives there. So, respected heads of state, dignitaries from around and abroad, from home and abroad, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to welcome you all to World Summit 2020. We have gathered here today desiring true peace. We cannot speak of peace if it is just about an individual or one nation. If the more than 200 countries in the world were to move forward together in peace, we would not have any problems. But we cannot express in words the horrors of wars and conflicts that have arisen repeatedly, creating religious, racial, and ideological barriers throughout the 6,000 biblical years of history. In addition, because of human greed and selfishness, not only humanity, but also the environment is suffering. The reality is that we can no longer be onlookers. The future is no longer visible. What then must we do? We cannot become one through human-centered thoughts and ideologies. It has been 70 years since the founding of the UN, but there has not been a time when they, member countries, were able to unify around the UN agenda and bring results. They could not become one because they are placing the interests of their own country first. And we know this. I'll just keep reading and then talk later. Knowing our origin. When we look at these examples, we can see it is crucial that we properly understand God, the Creator and the origin of the universe. God had a dream. He created heaven and earth in his image. And lastly, he created a man and a woman who would become humanity's ancestors. He gave them a special responsibility. God was waiting until they matured, until they could see they had perfected themselves beautifully. But during their growth period, the humans became greedy. They thought, I can also become like God. This is greed, and this is how the world we know today, a world that has no relation to God, came to be. The Creator is eternal. The beginning and the end are the same. He cannot ignore the principles with which he created. Because of that unexpected mistake by the first human ancestors, God had no choice but to initiate the providence of salvation. The providential requirements were so arduous that it took God 4,000 years to choose the people of Israel and to send his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. However, among Mary, who gave birth to Christ, the family of Zechariah, the Jews, the Israelites, none knew who Jesus was. They did not grasp Christ's essence. And this is really the sad history of humanity. God's dream, really simple, to embrace his children, wait for them to mature, and then they can receive the blessing, and our Heavenly Parent, together with them as true parents of humanity, would have established a world of peace and harmony, and everyone would have been born as God's direct children, but that didn't happen, as we know. And as it says there, it took God 4,000 years to choose the people of Israel and to send his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. Uh, chose from the beginning a long time and tried to manifest, but none of, as it says in the last line, among Mary, who gave birth to Christ, the family of Zechariah, the Jews, the Israelites, none knew who Jesus was. They did not grasp Jesus's essence. And that also reflects the fact that did not grasp the essence of our heavenly parent. Male and female. When God created the world, he created a man and a woman. Then Jesus, the only begotten Son, was born, and he had to find the only begotten daughter, so they could be in the position of the ancestors that God had waited so long for. But the environment did not allow this to happen, and Christ on the cross prophesied he would return. He said he would return and that he would hold the marriage supper of the Lamb. In heaven's providence, a central figure or chosen nation cannot play a role again after failing to fulfill the first responsibility received. This is because they end up owing indemnity. We know through history what kind of indemnity the people of Israel had to suffer under. Heaven then had to find a new people that could give birth to the only begotten daughter who was not alive in Jesus' time. This is the Korean people, chosen after 2,000 years. In 1943, the only begotten daughter was born into a Christian household. So we know that story all too well, how God really wanted Adam and Eve to succeed but didn't. Finally was able to send his son, but was rejected, and couldn't send his daughter because Jesus went to the cross and said he would return, as we know, and that's happened, and took thousands of years again to choose the Korean people. And then, as we know, in 1943, our true mother, the only begotten daughter, our Holy Mother Han, was born. And this started the kingdom of heaven, because finally the only begotten Son and the only begotten daughter were born, and the marriage of the Lamb, as we know, did take place in 1960. However, Korea was still under Japanese occupation at that time. Korea's liberation came in 1945. In 1950, the Korean War broke out. Korea had already divided into South Korea and North Korea in line with democracy and communism. South Korea was not ready to defend itself against communist North Korea. How was it possible for the UN, which had been founded that year, to send soldiers from 16 nations to participate in the Korean War, to shed blood for a good cause? Yeah, this is it's quite something to recognize, that how important it was to protect the only begotten daughters, and also the return of Christ, the second advent that took place in Korea. We know the story of suffering that Father had to go through in Hunnam prison, and we know the risk of life that took place at the crossing of the Han River, where the bridge was exploded. Many times, our true parents' lives were at risk, and yet it was, our Heavenly Parent protected them and enabled them to escape to the south. And it is amazing when we think about it, how it was possible for the UN, which had been founded that same year, to send soldiers and from 16 nations to participate in the Korean War. So it's quite an amazing thing. It was created so that the world could become a world of peace, and that they would make sure it happened. So their first major act was to ensure the freedom of South Korea, but unable to restore Korea to being one nation. So that was still left to be done. Essential elements of restoration. For God to follow the principle of creation that he himself established, he had to give the only begotten daughter a growth period as well. Only with that can humans be in the position of having fulfilled their portion of responsibility. How can we say human effort alone did this? It was a miracle that heaven accomplished. Therefore, I knew from an early age who God is. God the Creator is humanity's heavenly parent. Humanity became ignorant. So to show that God is our heavenly parent, in 1960, I entered into holy marriage with Sun Myung Moon, the returning Messiah. So, this is really an amazing victory of heaven, to be able to have true parents, finally substantially on earth. But not only that, they are the substantiation of our heavenly parents' desire and will, for the true history of humanity to begin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's putting Heavenly Mother in jail. No good.
Yes.
I was dreaming of Johnson.
Okay. I think. So thank you. Yes. I'll just continue on. But those who formed the Christian foundation were not able to create the proper environment. And that's something we need to understand and recognize. Those that formed the Christian foundation were not able to create the proper environment. As the true parents beginning at the lowest position, the fastest way and greatest blessing that can bring humanity back to the bosom of the Creator, our Heavenly Parent, is the blessing ceremony. This is why many blessed families reside in the world's 190 countries, the formula for global restoration. So this really is the way that the world is restored. Everyone needs to be blessed. And we have seen the blessings, 360 million couples worldwide. That's just that was over several phases, but adding all the blessings, still it's only not even 1% of humanity. And this really is, Christianity, following Christ, was meant to prepare itself for the marriage of the Lamb, the return of Christ, and also the emergence of the only begotten daughter. But that was not understood at all by Christianity. And we who have Christian backgrounds are amazed at the fact that it was hidden in some respects. The concept or the idea or even of the only begotten daughter. And yet, when we reflect, it's obvious that there has to be an only begotten son and an only begotten daughter, because that's God's original dream, for Adam and Eve to grow up and to fulfill the first blessing and then go on to do the second blessing, become that first human family centered on God and the embodiment of God's substance, and then to go on to the third blessing, to build a world of peace. But it didn't happen, and we know that the only way that it is happening now is through the blessing. And it started in 1960, the marriage of the Lamb, which is our true parents' blessing. And then from there, the blessing ceremony has expanded. And so if we remember that this message is at the World Summit, and it's a General Assembly, and they're all heads of state, and Mother is explaining, this is why many blessed families reside in the world's 190 countries, and the formula for global restoration. And so that formula is to understand the essence of our Heavenly Parent, recognize our true parents as the origin of the human family in God's image, finally realized, and that through the blessing, everyone can become part of God's family. Furthermore, at True Father's Ascension, I proclaim Foundation Day, a new era and a new history in heaven's presence. I made a promise. Even now, heaven is awakening those who do not understand properly and can neither see nor hear that God, the Creator, is humanity's heavenly parent. So, as we know, Mother made this promise, and Mother is fulfilling that promise, and Mother is ready to do anything, including what is happening right now, as we know, with her being detained and going through this court case, and putting up and bearing this. And we want to offer Chong Song to really enable Mother to fulfill her promise, and for us to take on that promise as our own. And this is the realization of God's original promise, of God's original dream. And so even now, heaven is awakening those who do not understand properly and can neither see nor hear that God, the Creator, is humanity's heavenly parent. So, that's the situation of many people. They don't know about God, but Mother is saying, even now, heaven is awakening them. Therefore, for the past 7 years, I have been working hard to realize my pledge to offer at least 7 nations on various continents. These nations will become countries that can attend our Heavenly Parent. Thus, in 2019, I proclaimed the establishment of Chong Il Guk. You are all citizens of Chong Il Guk that God can be with. So she's saying this to all those people there. You are all citizens of Chong Il Guk that God can be with. And so, of course, meaning that we need, obviously, and I'm not sure how many there recognize that they needed to receive the blessing and to really understand our Heavenly Parents' desire and heart. As we hold World Summit 2020 today, we are newly commencing the 7th year of Chong Il Guk. For 6,000 years, our Heavenly Parent has taken a path of suffering to find his lost sons and daughters. I will keep on marching forward toward Heavenly Parent's dream of the world's 7.6 billion people all attending him as our parent. So that is the number of people at that time. As we know, it's over 8 billion now. And just as our Heavenly Parent has endured, as it says, for 6,000 years, our Heavenly Parent has taken a path of suffering to find his lost sons and daughters. And I will keep marching forward toward Heavenly Parent's dream. So Mother is explaining to the people there that she's made this promise and she will fulfill it. And just as our Heavenly Parent made his promise in the very beginning, I have purposed that I will do it, and will realize, the heavenly kingdom substantially on earth. So become God's children, she's telling them and us. I would like to say this. For the past 6,000 years, humanity has been like orphans, parentless. Humans have been living in a self-centered way, so they could not see the whole, and thus have been creating many problems. Today's climate issue is one of these problems. If we leave this as it is, what is going to happen? The earth would have no future. Even now, if we can become one in attending our Heavenly Parent, ask for his wisdom and enable him to work, we can restore the earth to the beautiful state from when God created it. Let us ask God how we can do that. Please guide us, and we will do as you say. I wish to encourage this kind of movement. So she's really emphasizing to the world leaders there and to the members and everyone listening, we've got to stop being self-centered. And because of that self-centeredness, could not see the whole, and thus many problems. And as we know, this was something that Shin Chul was sort of surprised about when he spoke to Mother. Mother was talking about witnessing, and then she said, "Oh, also protect the environment," and he was surprised about this. But this is truly an issue, because the environment is our earth, and the earth needs to be the kingdom of heaven. And as we know, the climate issue is one of them. And when we had Shin Chul and Shin Hun and Yume here in Australia, and we had as many of us were able to experience, came to Sydney, and we had the opening of the True Parents exhibition, and it just so happened that President of Kiribati was there, and he received the prize, the Sunhak Prize, for his climate awareness program, and trying to get this very issue resolved, because he is under the circumstance of having his nation most likely be, if the water levels do rise because of the earth temperature rising, then his nation would be the first nation to go underwater and disappear. So he's been on that campaign, and he came to our event and said that and said that we need to have this exhibition everywhere so that people know about God's heart and know about how we need to seek God's wisdom, as Mother says here. Even now, if we can become one in attending our Heavenly Parent, ask for his wisdom and enable him to work, we can restore the earth to the beautiful state from when God created it. So let us ask God how we can do that. Please guide us and we will do as you say. I wish to encourage this kind of movement. And so truly Mother is asking us to really bring about, God's kingdom, not just by human effort alone, but by centering totally upon our Heavenly Parent and true parents and receive the blessing so that we can become God's true sons and daughters and not be orphans and parentless anymore. All nations' problems are the same. If those in every nation become our Heavenly Parents' children, no more wars or conflicts will arise. No longer will we have large and small countries. We are learning many lessons from the coronavirus outbreak. Heaven will not bless human beings' self-centeredness. The only way to receive heaven's mercy and love is to become one with true Mother, the only begotten daughter, our Holy Mother Ahn, who will guide you to the Creator, our Heavenly Parent. Distinguished guests and leaders here today, now we know who God, the Creator, is. We also know what the mission of the Messiah is. Now, what must we do? What do we need to do? We need to take the path to become true filial sons, filial daughters, and patriots in front of our Heavenly Parent. Please remember that this is the only way and the shortest path to solve all the problems of the world today. That all of you who have gathered at this World Summit will be leading players who realize Heavenly Parent's dream and humanity's wish by creating the kingdom of heaven on earth by saving the world through peace is my hope. That's actually the last slide. And really, Mother is explaining to everyone there that interesting. She says, no longer will we have large and small countries. Really saying that we need to be one family of God on earth, that everyone is not from diverse or different countries, but all the nations of the world are meant to become God's children. And Mother has explained who God is. He's our Heavenly Parent. Also explained the mission of the Messiah to become true parents and to give the blessing so that everyone can become true filial sons and true filial daughters and patriots in front of our Heavenly Parent. So that's Mother's wish and still Mother's wish. And it's up to us to go that way and to help people understand our Heavenly Parent's dream and to bring about, as it says there, humanity's wish of creating the kingdom of heaven on earth by saving the world through peace is my hope, Mother says. And so thank you all. And I'll just stop sharing now. So we're living in this time together with Mother, and we're all offering Chongsong, and we know it will be successful because the true parents are here and the blessing movement has begun. And so thank you. And if there's anyone who wishes to make a comment, please do. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So there's no comment. That's fine. I've pretty much used up all the time anyway. So we can offer our unison prayer a little bit earlier. So thank you. I'll just bring up the screen. There it is. And let's pray together. Thank you. Jew, Jew, Jew. Thank you, everyone. And I hope you all have a great day. Reverend Yataka is returning today around about 9:50 or something. So thank you all and have a great day, and see you all again tomorrow. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Mhm.